Hey y'all, so here's an idea. This goes towards a video that I did previously. I'm referencing it because I'm hoping that I put it inside of this video. But everybody goes and they get Cricut Infusible ink sheets. These are $20 to $30 a piece. If you go to Michael's, Hobby Lobby, Joann's, wherever you go get them from, that's usually the price. I would suggest you get it when it's on sale. Whenever Michael's has a sale and they have like a percentage off of Cricut or Silhouette or whatever products, and they have a coupon that lets you use 20% off your whole purchase or something like that, that's when you would use or go buy something like this along with blanks. So that's just the only time that you have a chance to get some of those products. If you're somebody who you can't either afford to keep getting 2 sheets for 20 bucks or you want something with more bang for your buck, I'm gonna give you an idea. This one is going to be something that's going to be more artsy. I cut out my design already, and this is a piece of vinyl. This is Oracle 351. It doesn't really matter which Oracle it is because it's not going to stay. But for the idea that I have, that I'm going to do, you would want to have something that would be like kind of sturdy. If you only have, say, 651 or like a cheaper type, it will work as well. And if you want to put this on like a canvas or a piece of wood or something like that, what I'm going to show you will work for that as well. Okay, video. Okay, so I picked out some colors. I'm doing 3, so I picked out 3 sets of colors in matching tones. I have no idea how they're going to come out because I haven't used them. These are still like brand new. I have to pull the packaging off. So we got spun sugar, Victorian velvet, and picked raspberry for the pink. Depending on how that looks, I might add some purple to it. Then we have fossilized amber, spice marmalade, and I'm going to use some yellow with the squeezed lemonade. And for the blues, I'm going to use the broken china. I'm going to use the Mermaid Lagoon, and I'll use the peacock feathers. And for the purple, I have colors. I'm going to either add in some of this shaded lilac, or I'm going to use this wilted violet, just to like amp up the pink a little bit more depending on how it looks. But I'll show you when I do the backgrounds when I start spraying. Okay, video. Hey y'all, okay, so this is heavyweight cardstock from Georgia Pacific. I found it. This is from Amazon. I bought it for $5. I have no idea how much they cost now. I got a couple of sheets, or 3 sheets, but there's 3 backgrounds. I would suggest you use watercolor cardstock. Another, this is another one. This is, I want to say this is also from Georgia Pacific, but it wasn't a heavyweight cardstock. But they look similar, but you can see the paper color is different. The book that I showed you, where I did my swatches, and I used Canson watercolor paper, that's a good idea for this, what I'm about to do. But because I can't find my book right now, I'm just going to use some of this. And if I do find it, I'll switch it out. But I wanted to show you what exactly this Georgia Pacific heavyweight cardstock looks like. It's regular cardstock. It's a thicker paper. And I'm going to use this to make my backgrounds with. Okay, Lydia. Okay, so here. These are distress inks. This line is large. These are from Tim Holtz, as I've showed you before. The oxides are the sprays, these. I've also showed you the stains, I think, and I've showed you the stress sprays. So he has sprays, stains, oxide sprays. Then he has ink pads, oxide ink pads, and you know, he has different ways of fusions of all of his stuff. His line is huge. He has a lot of colors. There are browns, pinks, purples, yellows, oranges, greens, blues. You can see here I have lots of them. These are water-based. You can use them with water to spread them out. Or if you're somebody who you're going to use the notepads or whatever, you can just use them directly on the paper, or you know, play around with them. I would suggest you get the re-inkers if you can. These were for people who are going to make it. So if you were traveling and you were going to go to a crop, which is pretty much a group of people who are going to be making things together, then you would carry those with you. You would carry those with you. These are from what's her name? Dina Wakely. This is another gesso. It's a clear gesso. And then I have gel medium. Now the gesso is the same gesso as I showed you with this one, except this one was probably cheaper than this one, the clear gesso, because Dina Wakely is a more expensive and she is a name brand. So you don't have to go crazy. Just use what you have. And if you don't have gesso, don't worry about it. Just use paint, white paint if you have it. And if you don't have white paint, don't worry about it. Alright. Hey y'all. So here's the gesso I'm going to use. This is from Walmart. This is acrylic gesso. I've had this for years. You can use any color gesso. It's just the undertone of whatever you're going to put your ink or your stains or your oxides or whatever on. That's going to make it lighter or brighter. Darker, I should say. These canvases, I have a lot of canvases. I get them from Michael's. I have some from Joann's. I have some from Dollar Tree, as well as some from 5 and Below. These right here are from 5 and Below. It's a 4-pack by 9 by 12. And then I have these ones from Michael's Artist Loft. Now, if you're somebody who's starting off and you're new to this, I would suggest you go to 5 and Below or Dollar Tree and get those canvases. The ones that you get from Michael's, unless even if you have a coupon, you can get it with a 20-30 something % off coupon. But it's your first time doing it and you don't know what's going to happen, just go to Dollar Tree and get you a couple Dollar Tree canvases. I'm going to use the $5 canvases and I'm going to gesso it. I haven't done this on these canvases before, so I'm just going to put gesso on it. You can use this idea with anything: markers, paints. You can use it with sprays. You can use it with dye inks or like different colors. You can have paint in your house. This could be the same thing. This is just a general idea that you can use and then make it work for you. If you have gesso, go for it. If you don't have gesso, just try it like using thin amounts first and build up color as you go. And I'm going to do 3 designs on these because I'm going to use this for something else. And I'm going to do one directly onto the canvas. Okay, later y'all. Another idea for those of you who are actually going to try this idea is to get index cards. This is a Dollar Tree 100-pack of Jock index cards. You can make a whole bunch of colored backgrounds and then use them for when you need them. And because of what I'm going to do, I'm going to give you a couple of variety things to do with them. Then you can just have them already made, or you can use these for like cards or something like that. Just remember that for what I'm doing, this is liquid. So you would be better off using something like the watercolor postcards that I showed you, or using watercolor cardstock. If you're using something like this, which is paper, then if you were using just straight ink pads or just straight markers, you still be careful with how much liquid you add to it, but it's doable. Okay, so one of the things that I use, and I'm suggesting, these brushes, I got them off of Amazon. You see these around in, like Simon Says Stamp, Michael's, Joann's, all over the place. I was not going to spend that much money on brushes that I might not use, so I just picked up a pack like years ago, and I just had them on the side. I'm going to use one of these. I'm going to try them. Watercolor markers. These are our Spectrum Noir Aqua markers. You don't have to have these type of markers. You could actually use markers like this. Let me show you. Which are something like this. These are water-based markers. You don't want to use something like this, which is a Sharpie. You don't want to use Sharpie because these are permanent markers, and these are not water-based. You want a marker like I seriously can't remember the name of them. It'll come to me. I'll write it inside of the video. But this is like one of my marker containers, and these are like water-based markers. Water-based markers, you can use water to thin them out and make them like watercolors. If it is a oil-based marker, you are not going to be able to spread it that easily with water or at all, because they're going to be permanent, and especially depending on what you put it on. Well, for these markers, these are Spectrum Noir, what are these called? Spectrum Noir dual tip markers. Actually, I have bought another one I didn't put in the container, but these are what they look like. They don't make these anymore. I got this set from Tuesday Morning. $20 for the darker set. I have the full set. I just didn't put these in the container, but these are the darks. Now, if you have markers like these, they come with a bullet and a nib. I mean, a bullet nib and then like a straight nib. I can't remember what this is called, but yeah. You can blend these alcohol markers with alcohol blending solution. When it comes to water, you can blend it with water. So something like this, you would need to use alcohol solution or alcohol, which is like rubbing alcohol. With this, you can blend it with water, a water brush. You can use a paintbrush with water. You can scribble and then like add water and make a solution and then rub it around like I showed you with the other one. So you have options. You don't have to go crazy with this idea. I'm giving you this so for those people who you do digital work and those who do like work where you work on canvases, but you have to, you know, play around with what it is that you want to do. Okay. For reference, these are the watercolor postcards that I got. I got these from Tuesday Morning years ago. I don't know where or if you can even get these anymore. These are a heavier blank postcard in terms of paper, but this is watercolor. This is what it looks like with the dried oxides and water when it dried from the watercolor mixture that I had left over from the water. As you can see, it just looks like more mermaidy, and it has more layers on it because of the way that the water dried. I just let this air dry. I didn't keep heating it. So even if you get something like this, you can do it. If you got something where you have the with the index cards, you can do that. You can use cardstock if you have this, and if you don't have anything else, like use a composition book. Like I'm trying to give y'all as many ideas as possible for this idea, because I think that this will help people who not only want to like expand their work a little bit more, but also people who just want to play around and paint or play around in their inks and their oxides and stuff. Hey y'all, so this is the Canson XL mixed media pad. I use this for mixed media work, so anything that would be my acrylic, watercolor, pen and pencil, oxides, ink pads, markers of any type. If you want to mix medias, this is the type of paper that you use. They also have watercolor paper along with other types of paper. This is a heavier paper. It is perforated so you can rip the pages out, and then you can use a hole punch like I showed you when I made my journal to make your own. This is the paper that I believe I have in those books. They come in different sizes. This is not the smallest, and this is not the largest. If you're going to go to Michael's, Hobby Lobby, Joann's, Dick Blick's, wherever, because they have it all over the place, utilize a coupon, especially if it's your first time using it and you don't know if you're going to use it again. It makes no sense to pay full price. Okay, later, y'all. Okay, y'all, so here we have the canvas, the paintbrush, and I'm going to use gesso. Now, this is gesso from Walmart, as I said before. I have a lot of canvases. I was doing a lot of painting. But I haven't used it in a long time. had to pull the plug out. Okay. Just thin layer it. It don't have to be a lot, because this is just so that you're not using so much of the sprays. It's not soaking into the canvas, because this is a fabric canvas. You do this, just use a thin layer. You don't have to use a lot of gesso. This is just so that the canvas doesn't soak up all the inks, because this is fabric canvas. I'm going to gesso the oak tag, or I'm sorry, not oak tag. Yeah, I don't have oak tag. It's heavyweight cardstock, so that it doesn't absorb so much of the ink as well. And while you're doing this, if you want to do like swirls or put texture or anything like that, like this inside of your work, when you do this and when it's dried and it sprays, it'll hold the form. So if you don't want to do that, you just want to have like just thin streaks, thin, just put a little bit. Okay.